Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've got a roadmap update, a reveal of the Mirai Fury LX, and some fantastic updates to the Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 P2 and eventually obviously the live build, with some much needed quality of life improvements, long-standing bugs being fixed, and the end to combat logging. Let's start with the roadmap update. The Mirai Fury LX has been confirmed for coming with the initial release of Alpha 3.20.0, so the initial 3.20 release, and we actually got to see a picture of it this time. This is effectively the racing variant of the ship. It appears that it has no weapons and more elaborate wings and fins, probably to help with its aerodynamics and agility. I think it's going to be very good as an atmospheric racer, and I really like its racing paint job as well. On the progress tracker side of the roadmap updates, Cloud Imperium have added the Q3 schedules for 2 of its new teams, basically short-term schedules. You can expect a lot more updates in the future. I believe they are somewhat hampered by the Road to CitizenCon though, and Cloud Imperium holding back some info there. So the 2 teams that they added were the NA, so North American Persistent Universe Gameplay Feature Team. So they are working on freight elevators, implementation of systems and content for players to physically load and unload cargo to and from their ships by conveying cargo to and from hangars, landing pads, garages, and docking collars. We are expecting this sort of stuff to lead to times and costs associated to loading and unloading cargo as they continue to evolve the cargo gameplay. There's also, exciting for a lot of people, persistent hangars that they're working on. Work that grants players the ability to have their own persistent hangars. This will also bring changes to cargo gameplay loop by allowing players to pack their grids manually. Also have connected to the greater cargo overhaul that's been going on for a while. So those sets of features have work scheduled until later in September. It's possible they will need more work after that. The other team that Cloud Imperium have given us some additional information on are the Vehicle Gameplay Feature Team. So they've just finished some work on the resource management system. It's definitely going to require more work. The resource management system is huge. It's all the circuitry of ships. It's all of the sort of engineering gameplay and damage control and loads of stuff, physical components, all part of it. So this system will handle resources for stations, settlement cities, and all other locations. It will also unlock engineering station gameplay for ships, letting players manage power, CPU, fuel, shields, coolant, etc. So yeah, a big spate of work on that looks to have been completed. The other thing they've been working on is jump points, building out the functionality, visual and audio effects for jump points used to travel between systems and setting them up in game, including necessary vehicle items and functionality, the jump points themselves and their inner tunnels. Again, this work here is scheduled until later in September. Will it require more work, or is it ready for Pyro and a 4.0 build at the end of the year? Maybe. Are we getting a 3.21 at the end of the year? Maybe. The rumors are 4.0 with Pyro, with server meshing, with jump points, but we'll sort of have to wait and see. There was a comment on that roadmap update from a user saying that the roadmap update here is underwhelming, and Cloud Imperium actually responded to this. We see this sentiment quite a bit with our updates of late, and this is a direct result of changes we made last year to the roadmap. Due to how we put the cards and deliverables on here now, we don't typically make large swathes of additions as we used to in the past. This helps the roadmap be more accurate, as well as greatly reduce the amount of things needing to be removed when things change. Our updates have become more empty, but this is preferred to the rollercoaster of adds and removals and delays that we saw in the past. The roadmap roundups typically only call out additions, removals, or delays, as well as show scheduled work. For actual details on what was accomplished, the monthly reports have this covered. We'll have a monthly report next week as well, so obviously we'll be going through that and summarizing it. Cloud Imperium continue. We're also in a bit of a holding pattern for release view as we are awaiting the QA test requests to go out for 3.21's features, which will then add those cards as tentative to the roadmap. So this is important that they said this, because there was rumors of 4.0 by end of year and that there wouldn't be a 3.21 patch, but previously there had been rumors and suggestions that there would be a 3.21 patch, and we sort of didn't know. 3.21 was obviously mentioned by Cloud Imperium there. So to me, it's probably looking like they plan for a 3.21 patch by the end of the year, and maybe they'll have, as part of experimental modes or as a PTU test, they'll be testing jump points and pyro or bits of 4.0, or maybe 4.0 in either Kati hands. It's also very possible that the rumors we heard about 4.0 being in our hands by the end of the year are not going to happen. They may have been false rumors, or they may be, well, actually Cloud Imperium are planning for 4.0, but they're also aware they might not be able to get it out. I'm really interested to know what you're expecting. Obviously, the road to CitizenCon has hampered somewhat the roadmap and Cloud Imperium wanting to talk about certain things. I'd say now it looks like 3.21 is a lot more likely. Only time will tell. Moving on to Star Citizen Alpha 3.20, the latest PTU for this is genuinely awesome. They've addressed some really big major issues, long-standing bugs, and applied some much-needed quality of life. Combat logging now has a timer, so you can't Alt F4 out of an encounter and combat. You can't just disappear. With 3.20, they've added a new combat logging mechanic to avoid as much of this issue as possible. With this updated mechanic, while a player is in combat and outside of a green zone, the player and their ship will remain in the persistent universe for a short period of time after exiting the game fully or to the menu. This also comes with a warning while exiting to the menu to make sure that you are in a safe area before leaving, as it will leave your ship and character vulnerable at the location they left the server. I don't actually know how long that timer is, but you won't instantly disappear anymore, I tell you that. So players won't be able to avoid combat that is kind of forced upon them. They've also added the option to allow comms calls from only friends. This is really good. These types of mute, avoid, and only options for communication help prevent trolling, annoyance, and harassment, and can be implemented by the user. I'm not sure if this is a bug fix or improvement, but ship quantum HUD alignment, they've done a full pass on all ships to make sure that all of the quantum HUDs have been properly aligned in view. Along with this, much of the quantum UI has been removed to be much cleaner and remove unnecessary elements until a full future quantum HUD update. No more fiddly quantum jumps. No more, why am I pointing here and it's not spooling? Well, at least, hopefully. Cloud Imperium did say this is obviously different for all ships, and if you do see anything that's not quite right, let them know. They've added the ability for the pilot in the Argo Mole as well to use the ship's mining scanners, or at least see some additional information. Press M in the pilot seat and you will be able to see a load of much needed information about minables and all that sort of jazz. And you're not going to be able to use the lasers from that pilot seat. I want to see more of this, more command function, more info functions from the pilot's chairs in especially industrial ships. Give me a load of coordination-based stuff for mining ships, for the Reclaimer, things like that as well. Some other updates here as well. They've greatly increased the internal storage of the Corsair. The Corsair appears to be fully working as a ship now as well. It's no longer bricked. The character invis issue appears to have been solved. If this has genuinely been solved and holds, this is fantastic. This is one of the major problems I was having with 3.19, desync, and invisible players. It also appears that desync is also largely addressed in this patch, but that requires more testing, and we don't know how the live servers are going to hold up with this. There was a ton of more minor bug fixes for the Hull C, the Hammerhead, interactions not working, lobby and arena commander fixes, and general crash stuff. However, there is still a meaty known issue list that Cloud Imperium are trying to work through. The most egregious of these being loads and loads of little UI problems. Player inventories as well can get blocked and unresponsive. Problems with occasional issues on the ASOP terminal, with ships being claimed instead of retrieved and being destroyed when stored. Ship services not working with repair, rearm, and refuel. Some ship elevator problems. Also, I think that 3.20 on the PTU is out to Wave 3 now. They said it was going out to Wave 3, but I haven't actually heard confirmation that it's out to Wave 3. But it probably is. 3.20 looking really good for a end of September launch. Really hoping that that live build is absolutely fantastic and solves a lot more of those known issues. And finally, the ship showdown looks like the Corsair is going to win. So that should be confirmed by the time you see this video. It is beating the Vulture by some margin. It just means that people will be able to test fly and try that Corsair out for a month of free fly. Long live the king! Anyway, boom! That's it for your Star Citizen updates today. Really interested to know what you think of that Fury LX. Do you like the look of the ship? Are you interested in racing in Star Citizen, or maybe you just want a fast snub? Do you think some of those features that the gameplay feature team and the vehicle gameplay team are working on are going to be shown at CitizenCon? Freight elevators, persistent hangars, resource management system stuff, and jump points. What do you think we're going to see at the end of the year? Do you think we'll see 4.0 in some form, or do you think it's going to be a 3.21, maybe just with bounty hunting and some additional Reign of Commander updates, that sort of stuff? Are you excited for all those updates in 3.20? There's quality of life updates, no more combat logging. What do you think of that? Are you happy that the Corsair appears to have won the ship showdown? Or had you hoped the Vulture would win or another ship? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. For those of you that are keeping your eyes peeled, you will have noticed that the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 is on sale again until the 8th of September. They are natively supported in Star Citizen, giving you precision, head and eye tracking that can help with immersion, as well as adding another level of control to your toolset. It's a cool piece of tech that you can use for streaming and seeing where your eyes are going, and loads of other games are supported too. Check out my links below to get one of those at discount. NordVPN is amazing and you should buy it. It's so useful, it's easier to tell you what it can't do. NordVPN can't do your taxes. Nord, how much do I owe for VAT? NordVPN can't help you buy more spaceships. Nord, add a terrapin to my shopping cart. NordVPN can't cook for you. No, my cabbages! And NordVPN can't be your girlfriend. Can't or won't NordVPN, if that is your real name. NordVPN.com/BoredGamer will help you connect to the internet more safely, securely, and anonymously, with greater access to the content you want. But can I teach it to love? Links below for the best NordVPN deals around. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for September, that's for the Drake Corsair, that fantastic exploration ship. Not only will you be able to explore the verse with it, but the ship is perfectly competent at a huge range of gameplay, and is a fantastic mission-running ship. You can use it for cargo, you can put some vehicles in there. It's reasonably good in a fight, one of the true multi-role, multi-crew ships. To be in for a chance of winning one of those, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. Also down below are links to be able to support the channel more. There's the join button, making you one of my elite channel members. You'll get occasional exclusive content. There's also YouTube badges and emotes to show your support. There's also Patreon for those of you that prefer that. We try to mirror the rewards on there as well. But just people liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos goes a long way. A heartfelt thank you to everyone that watched the video. I hope you have a great September, and I'll see you in the verse.